Thanks for joining me for Tuesdays at 1. I'm Christy. I hope you guys are all doing well. This week we're going to be doing the tissue paper watercolor painting. So all of your supplies, of course, you should already have picked up at Town Hall. And if you don't, you're welcome to go out and get some watercolor paper. It does work best for this project, just simply because if you used regular paper from the copier, once it gets wet, it tends to curl up on the edges. But otherwise you could use it, or cardstock is fine. So in your bag, you will notice that I have watercolor paper. And again, this is just a thicker quality paper. So what you're going to do is, I actually have yellow so you guys can see the lines on it, but you will make a design if you want to with your white crayon, and basically it's putting wax on the paper so the tissue paper will go over it, and then you'll have the void lines where your white crayon is. You can write words, you can draw a picture, you can even use, once again, stenciling, which makes for a nice design on it, or you can leave it blank and have just basically no void in it if you want as well. And then in your bag also you will have a design that looks like this. This actually is just cardstock. So I'm going to show you two methods. I gave you this basically in case you didn't have a template, or some of you maybe do not have stencil and you don't feel comfortable doing it freehand, so you can have this to play with as well. So with the watercolor paper, it's very important that you wet the surface first, and then you're basically just going to tear tissues. Now the tissue that we are using today, I'm going to show you, is actually, this is quite a large pack, but it looks like, let's do it this way, it looks like this. And this is special tissue paper because it's called bleeding art tissue paper. It's different than regular tissue paper. I have not tried this with regular tissue paper. The bleeding art tissue paper basically has more paint involved in it, so when you get it wet, it will make that nice color. So again, there are two ways. First, you can go ahead with your water bottle, spray your entire paper if you like, which is what I'm going to do. And again, you're just misting it. You don't want it to be saturated. So just a nice kind of coat on there. And then you just take whatever size you want. Mine's quite large, so again, I can make sure everyone sees it. And you just place it down on top. Now with this, you're going to notice that your hands are going to turn, but it will be able to come off easily. And you just place it down. And you're going to keep going over on top of it until you have actually completed your entire paper. And then once you get your actual paper where you want it, I mean, if you don't want to cover up your paper, but if you notice it's getting on my hands. So if you don't want that on your hands, it does come right off. But if you don't want that, just make sure you wear some gloves. So now that it's all covered pretty much for what I want it to look like, you're going to spray a little bit on top. And then you need to leave it alone. This is the part where you want it to dry. So just hold it to the side and let it dry. And then I'm going to go ahead and show you the other way. If you take some tissue paper, I'm going to just take this blue right here. You're going to take it and you're going to spray it directly. And then you can kind of just crumple it in your hand. And again, this will make a mess on your hands. Take the paper and you just kind of blot it. And this will give you just a nice abstract look. And again, you choose the color. All ages, all abilities will be able to enjoy this craft. And you get some nice colored handprints, and as you can tell, it makes a nice print. And we're going to go ahead and continue doing this until the page is full. Okay, so as you can see, this is kind of like the variation print you can get if you take the little tiny tissue paper, spray a little bit of water on it. It's not soaking wet, it's just damp, and you will then just go ahead and blot. As you can see, it's up to you what kind of image you want and what kind of colors you want and how you want to blend the colors. So you can really be really creative with this and have fun. The second one is the first one. The second one I'm showing you is the first one we did. How about that? Mine's still kind of a little bit wet, but I'm going to go ahead and pull some of this off. Let me scoot back here. And as you can see, the longer you leave it on there, the better your quality of paint is going to be. So you can kind of see the lines in it a little bit, the voided lines. If I left it on there a little bit longer, it would probably be a better example. But this is very abstract, so you don't have to be perfect on this, which a lot of you always like to do, is express yourself freely. You don't have to worry about staying in the lines, which is always good to be creative. So this is our two pieces. So again, this is the tissue paper watercolor. It's a lot of fun. again, all ages, all abilities can do it. Express yourself, have fun, be creative. See you next week. Bye-bye.